Hey guys, how's everybody doing? I'm back today to do a vinyl finds video. It's been about, I don't know, maybe a little over a month since I did my last finds, or around a month or so, and I've accumulated quite a bit of stuff. I'm going to show about 15, 16 records today, not everything that I've picked up. What I'm showing today is a combination of a trip to the flea market where I had a pretty good haul there of about 7 or 8 records. Many of them some really nice reggae finds. A couple of items that I never would have imagined to find at a flea market, rock albums. And then I got some online purchases through Discogs. So the first one I've got to play in the background. It's a little bit low. Something that I never would have dreamed of finding at the flea market. Fuzz, the one of the many projects of Ty Segall, and I've considered buying this record many times on I guess through Amazon. And the flea market, like when I was flipping through this new arrivals box they had, I'm like, what? Fuzz? So this was there. It was only 13 bucks. Unbelievable pickup for a flea market. So again, this band, Fuzz, Ty Segall, on lead vocals and drums in this particular band. So again, this is very much in the sort of, I don't know, stoner rock, hard psych, been compared to Sabbath a little bit, and I think all those descriptions are pretty fair. And then along with that, at the same flea market, Drums and Guns, which is an album by the band Low. This was the album after The Great Destroyer, which is arguably Low's probably most well-known album. This album is quite different to other Low albums in that it's got some electronic touches to it. It's still got that slowcore element, but it has some electronic touches. Their latest album, Double Negative, is probably close to this album in terms of its sound. So I was really pleased to get this one. This was for 18 bucks. And then I picked up 5 reggae records, stuff that I've been looking for and have never been able to find. The Satellites, which is a Canadian reggae group back from, I guess, the 80s and 90s. And this was, I think, their first album, which has a song that was a hit in Canada called Wild. UB40 present Arms in dub. So this is UB40's second album, Present Arms, but the dub version of that particular record. Still quite roots reggae sounding at the time. They hadn't gone yet into their, I guess, red wine sort of pop reggae sort of sound. But I like all UB40 records for the most part, and this is certainly a great one. We then have the 12-inch single to the UB40 song Maybe Tomorrow. This was a song that UB40 released on their first Greatest Hits compilation, Volume 1. This particular version of Maybe Tomorrow is the extended version with the, what's it called? Anything Me Chant, which is a toasting part by Astro added to the main core part of the song. So a really good UB40 favorite there for me. An album that I may not keep, Shaggy, Lucky Day. I like a couple of Shaggy tracks like Oh Carolina, Mr. Boombastic, things like that. This is not as good as that, so this I'll probably be reselling this. Then an album that I was super happy to see and never seen out in the wild, Peter Tosh, Captured Live. This is from 1984. This is a single LP version of this, and really it's only been released, I believe, as a single LP version on vinyl, whereas there is an expanded 2 CD version of this that I've got, which is double the tracks. So this has about, I think, 8 tracks. Again, from 1984. The Captured Live expanded edition, which I think is called Completed Captured Live, has about 16 tracks. So all I need is one more Peter Tosh to complete my my collection. And then a record that my brother-in-law found at the flea market that he wasn't too interested in, he passed on to me, the Dream Syndicate. This is called This Is Not the New Dream Syndicate album, live. So I believe this came out after Medicine Show, and is again a single LP live LP, single disc from, I believe, the 1984-85 time period. And then some Discogs finds from one of my favorite sellers on Discogs. First of all, a couple of fusion classics. Miles Davis, Jack Johnson. And I was really looking for this particular cover. This is the front cover that I've had on CD of this album and is my preferred cover. This is also a cover of the album, which is the backside of this particular issue of the album. And ended up getting this one for free because of the quality of the record. There's a couple of pops, couple of skips. Nothing that's going to terribly, ruin your enjoyment of this, but this is an excellent fusion album. Probably my top 20 of all fusion records. Of course, in addition to Miles on this, you have John McLaughlin, which, his work with the Mahavishnu Orchestra is outstanding, along with whatever he did on Miles' albums. And on drums on this particular album is Billy Cobham of Mahavishnu Orchestra. At the time, I guess this was before Mahavishnu formed, so this was maybe sort of the seeds of that band forming with John McLaughlin and Billy Cobham. Speaking of Billy Cobham, his first solo LP, Spectrum. This is also a fusion classic and is an absolute essential if you're collecting jazz fusion. Who do we have on here? I think Tommy Bolin on guitars and Jan Hammer from Mahavishnu appears on this. So this was the album after the first lineup of Mahavishnu split up. So Billy Cobham, obviously worked together with Jan in Mahavishnu, asked them to participate on this. Excellent fusion, those two records. And then a record that I've been looking for quite some time and have seen online for fairly high prices that I wasn't really willing to pay. Having a rave up with the Yardbirds. I have many of these songs on a Yardbirds compilation, but I've been wanting to get the album proper for quite some time now, and I just love the cover as well. And I was able to get it from this particular seller for good price. The cover's in, VG plus condition. Same with the record. Really happy to get this. And then a couple of 12-inch singles. The Sugar Cubes, Birthday. 8 versions of Birthday on this 12-inch. Nobody needs 8 versions of Birthday, but it is my favorite Sugar Cube song, and this was going for a good price, so I got it. Most notably, I know the Justin Robertson 12-inch mix of this that I had on actually a cassette back in the day, which was a remix album of the Sugar Cubes. But there's a couple of versions on here of Birthday, remixed by the Reed brothers from the Jesus and Mary chain. They're called Christmas Eve Mix and Christmas Day Mix, I believe. Yeah, Christmas Eve Mix and Christmas Day Mix. So imagine the song Birthday with a Jesus and Mary chain feel, and you have that. So don't know how often I'll play this. 8 versions of one song, but they are somewhat different, and that's what makes it enjoyable. And then another 12-inch, the Inspiral Carpets, Commercial Rain. Commercial Rain is a non-album track, which happens to be my favorite Inspiral Carpets song. I've been looking for this for quite some time as well. There's another 12-inch of this that didn't have the original version of the song on there. So this particular 12-inch has 4 versions of Commercial Rain. One of them being the original that I was really looking for. And this came sealed, but it did have a cut there. So really happy to get that. And then just a couple more. A favorite Canadian band of mine, Cowboy Junkies, and their 3rd album, The Caution Horses. This has a couple of hits here in Canada. Sun Comes Up, It's Tuesday Morning, and Cause Cheap Is How I Feel. This, of course, followed the massively successful Trinity Session, which was the album that really got them well known. The Trinity Session had an excellent version of the Velvet Underground Sweet Jane, and the Caution Horses replicates that by having an amazing version of Neil Young's Powderfinger. So really happy to get this. Some great slide guitar, pedal steel I should say, on this album here. And then last, a classic rock album that for whatever reason I've been having a hell of a time finding, which has probably a song that's in my top 5 songs of all time. Thin Lizzy and Jailbreak. That song, of course, being The Boys Are Back in Town. I've been looking for this forever, never seemed to find it, and when I did find it online one time, the price, I'm like, why is this so high? There must be lots of copies floating around out there, but not around here, at least that I've been able to find, until I did come across this from this seller from Discogs. So really happy to get this. The whole album is fantastic, but especially the Boys Are Back in Town. Okay guys, thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you next time.